Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Have a Nice Day podcast with your host, Janine.
And Joshua.
And today, we have another guest, Joshua's good friend and stand-up comedian, Anand.
That was it?
Hello, guys.
A lot more. You're the good friend, so you introduce
he's
him
also
then.
a social media guru.
Mm-hmm.
He does those Adobe videos. What are those? Flash videos you did?
Yeah, some
on
animations.
YouTube. Yes, animator and producer, stand-up comedy producer, and
lover.
and a fighter, and our first Indian guest as well.
Yeah, true.
So this is going to be fun.
That's true.
Spicy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it going to be a spicy podcast today?
We'll see how it goes.
And he's wearing a gaming headset. I don't know why.
Joshua, the night before, asked me to bring a headset of some kind. And this was the only one that I had. Okay. I got it from the grocery store for I think 20 dirhams. And it works. Okay. I can hear
And he can hear himself.
So it's the first time you're using it?
No, I've used it for gaming before.
Oh, okay.
But all my friends always give me trouble for it. They're like, oh, why don't you get the Astros or the Turtle Beaches? And I'm like, it's all the same.
What is a Turtle Beach?
Exactly. It's
What is
some
it?
place
Someone
in
doesn't
Goa.
game.
You know?
Exactly. But yeah.
So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having
We're
me.
really delighted to have you here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Anand was born and raised here in Sharjah, though. So,
Yeah.
so how was that growing up?
First of all, can I just talk about, so my hand, as you guys can see, is fully it's bandaged and wrapped up.
What happened?
So what happened was yesterday, I went to go visit my cousin in Sharjah. Right?
Of course.
And we wanted to get him sweets. And there was this sweet shop right under his house. So my parents are visiting Dubai right now. So they went in and they got baklava and kunafa for him. And so they were packaging everything up. And as my parents were leaving the store and my sister was leaving, I was like, oh, it's so hot out right now because the summer weather is coming into Dubai. So I was like, I'll close the door so that, just be polite about it. And so I grabbed the handle of the door and I slowly was closing it and I looked away and suddenly I hear shatter. All of the glass shatters of the door and there's no more door existing. And I look back and I'm just holding the handle of the store.
Oh. What?
And there's no more glass. And now I look inside and the guy's making kunafa and he doesn't know the protocol here. He's like, what do I do about this?
Yeah.
I look down at my hand and there's a lot of cuts and the glass got in, I guess.
I see some of the little cuts actually.
Yeah. So there was little cuts and I didn't know what to do next. So I just went to the counter and I set the handle down.
How much is this going to be?
Is this your subtle way of saying that you're really strong, that you were actually able to shatter a glass door?
So there is a point to this. So number one, my mom, of course, she goes, being the Indian mom she is, she's like, come, they're going to call the police. They're going to call the police. And I'm like, Mom.
The engine is on. Let's drive
I'm
away.
like, Mom, I didn't do anything wrong. I was trying to be a good Samaritan, right?
Oh my gosh.
And then the second thing is, I went to a friend's gathering yesterday and everyone was asking me about my hand. And as soon as I told them about the story, their first reaction, 5 people, oh, it must have been a store in Sharjah.
Oh my God.
And I didn't mention that it was in Sharjah, right? And it's what? Why? Is it that Sharjah is not capable of building strong glass doors or something?
Exactly.
You know how there's the saying, don't build a house on a shaky foundation?
Yeah.
It's don't build glass doors in Sharjah.
In Sharjah. Clearly.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you actually just leave?
I just left. They started sweeping
Thanks for the
up.
baklava and the kunafa. I'm jetting.
When I came back later, they had a curtain in place. I felt so bad. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God.
I mean, I guess that's more inviting, right? Like a little curtain.
It's so bad because now the weather is starting to get really hot.
Seriously, Anand did that in his good mindset, and now he broke it, and he's like, now it's gonna get even hotter, that place.
And I think baklava and kunafa is supposed to be in a certain temperature as well. So I really screwed them out of their business.
I want to go to this place and see if they're bankrupt tomorrow. Where everything is destroyed.
That is so
It
bad.
all happened when the bald man came in.
I think we have to shout them out, probably put their Instagram handle if they do. Well,
No, I'm
you know
surprised
what?
they did
Let
not
me
take
not
any
go that
payment.
way because I'm sure they don't have an Instagram handle, being a store in Sharjah.
Being a store. See, that's the thing. So like growing up in Sharjah, we got a lot of flack for just, I remember I was only aware of it when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, where people were like, oh, you're in Sharjah. You're not in Dubai, right? It was always like, I didn't know
Are you poor?
that I was not good enough because I was in Sharjah. So
That's so true.
But Sharjah had a lot of fun things growing up over there. We had the birds and animals markets.
True.
Very exotic
Yes.
pets. And were you?
I've been
born-
there. I didn't grow up in Dubai, in Sharjah, but we're super close to Sharjah.
Yeah.
And I used to. My school was in Sharjah,
Oh, okay.
so I felt like part of me was at home in
at home.
Sharjah.
Yeah.
Because all of my friends live there as well. Well, most of my friends live there. So I knew how, the setting was. And I'm not too far from it. So I would just pay 15 dirhams at that time for a taxi all the way to
pre-Salik
Sharjah.
days.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Pre-Salik days. Pre-meter days.
Pre-meter days.
When those taxis wouldn't have, you would just hail a taxi. And they would be these
And you wouldn't even know if they're
private
a taxi.
Patan drivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would just bring you over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and scary at the same time as a girl, as a girl who's 13 probably year old.
Yeah.
And as a group of girls who would always be together, getting into a guy's car that is not really a labeled taxi. I don't know what we were doing actually when we were young.
Yeah.
But it was daylight.
No, but
Anyway.
Dubai was always, UAE was always that safe even since then, I'm
Sharjah?
assuming.
I don't know Sharjah.
Sharjah?
I have some stories about Sharjah
Sketchy.
actually. Yeah, I have the story of I think it was on one of the holidays. It was Holi or something. It was a national day, and my sister was in a elevator with her aunt. And this guy came in with the national flag of India on his face, painted the colors.
Yeah.
I know the colors. It's just I'm just thinking about
Orange,
French. I don't want to make. I don't want to mess
green.
it up. Bharat Mata ki jai. So, but I remember he came in the lift and then he pushed my aunt against the lift and he started groping her basically. And and then she pushed him to the side and yelled to my sister, "Go get your uncle." And she ran and got my uncle, and then my uncle came and beat the crap out of him.
Served him right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Sharjah isn't that,
That
but
safe.
we had exotic animals.
It makes up for it.
It makes up for it, And looking back on it, there was a lot of animal. It wasn't exactly the most, let's say, good to animal rights.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I remember
Why?
seeing dogs there and caged dogs, and I felt so sad because these are dogs that are supposed to be out roaming free, but they're just there.
Exactly.
And as soon as you get in, you're they're like, please get me, pet me, and you can't.
And just a lot of peacocks and pigeons
Yeah.
shoved into cages, 5 of them at a time.
Yes.
And peacocks, they're trying to show off their cool colors, and then right across from them is a pigeon stuffed in a cage. What, this is doing nothing for me, bro.
Yeah.
So
Is it still there in Sharjah right now?
yeah, it's still
Yeah, I think there's still birds and animal market, but not that exotic anymore because there are certain rules to the whole.
That's so cool. I want to,
Owning
not
it.
so cool, but I want to actually see that then.
Yeah.
See what happens over there.
and
Really?
Be an undercover reporter and just with my camera and just
Yeah, I
see,
wanted to take pictures, and the guy was like, "No pictures,"
yeah,
allowed.
that's a thing. That's a
Because
thing.
I wanted to take pictures of the dogs. I felt really bad, and he's like, "No pictures.
What we're gonna do with the pictures?
Just look at them. Feel sad."
I actually feel really bad because we
Yeah.
bought a bunch of animals from there, so it was kind of supporting the business.
Yeah,
But then we had parrots growing up. That was our thing.
yeah. So you had a lot of birds around.
We had a lot of birds. We had 3 parrots in total, and
Could they speak?
they could. Yeah. So
Did you train them to say something?
yeah, so my grandmom used to help me raise them, and then she used to tell me in Tamil how to say a certain thing. It was Tathame Pucha Pucha, which basically means run, there's a cat coming. Which is kind of hilarious.
This tells me everything I need to know about Sharjah already. People in elevators and if there's a cat
So that was what the parrot was
full
saying.
danger.
That's what the
Run,
parrot-
there's a cat coming.
Run, there's a cat
Oh my
coming.
God. Imagine 2 parrots conversing. Run, there's a cat coming.
And they're just in the
That-
cage and they're just
Yeah.
where do
And
we
it's
go?
we're parrots, we can fly. But the crazy thing about it is we showered these parrots with love and affection, and they hated us. These parrots, anytime they would bite and draw blood all the time. And for years I reared them as a child, and as soon as they grew into adults, their eyes they turn white.
Yeah.
And that's when they're pissed off, and they would bite and draw blood. So I had 2 parrots. One was named Romeo and one was named Smokey.
I was gonna say Juliet, but okay.
It should have been, honestly. But the other one was a male, so it would have been weird to assign a gender. But I remember very vividly my dad bringing Romeo home, and like that was the first parrot. And then the second parrot he brought home one day, he sets it down. And as soon as he's setting it down, like he brings it from the animal market, and it looked different from my other parrot. I'm like, why is it different? And he goes, oh, this one's from Karachi, Pakistan. And yeah, exotic, right? So he sets the cage down, and bugs just started crawling out of its feathers, like everywhere, all around the house. And I'll never forget this, because the first thing my dad says is, it's probably because it's from Pakistan.
Oh my gosh. I was just going to say, you're setting it next to an Indian parrot.
Exactly.
And that must have been like a cockfight.
It spoke about the divide between our nations, really. And that wasn't me saying any of that. That was my dad, really. And my dad has a lot of Pakistani friends, and we really love them.
Yeah, we love Pakistanis, don't worry.
No, but also because it came in from that filthy exotic animal.
It's the market.
Yeah, it's the market.
Those market conditions were atrocious.
Imagine all of those bird fleas.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I didn't even know birds could have fleas. Like they're
birds,
all the way in the
snakes.
sky.
Have you seen snake fleas?
Snakes can have fleas?
Yes. Underneath their scales.
Yeah, because snakes are ground animals, but a bird is like all the way in the sky. Like fleas one like
not these birds. These birds are just in the
Yeah.
market.
These are in cages.
Oh, and they had squirrels and stuff in the cages too. So like they can get it from anything. They had skunks. They had like weird animals.
It's just like everyone all together.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The thing about that parrot story is that at the very end of it, I remember coming back from school one day, and my dad came up to me proudly, and he was like, I was like, where's Romeo and Smokey? Or just Smokey? And he was like, parrots should live free in the wild. So I set them free.
Oh.
And he looked at me like he did a noble thing, and like he was so proud of it. And I was like, Dad, these are domesticated birds. They've been fed their entire life like seeds and stuff. You let them free in Sharjah Rolla. Like they're doomed.
I know. They won't be able to fend for themselves.
Exactly. Unless that parrot found its way back to Karachi, it's screwed.
It just took an Air Arabia flight and like, you know what? Take me to Karachi. One way, please.
Exactly.
One way, please, with fleas.
Yeah, I ended up giving Romeo to actually my there was a lady who was teaching me painting and drawing at the time, so I ended up giving him to her. And a couple of years later, I went to go visit him. Turns out Romeo had laid eggs, and Romeo was the Juliet all along.
What?
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. And that also speaks about racism, because Romeo was with Smokey all the time. Smokey was a male. Romeo was from India, the female. Why didn't they ever have eggs together?
True.
Like, stay away from me, bro.
You're Pakistani. Please take your flea away from me.
That's so crazy. But currently you have dogs and cats now, right?
I do, yeah. I have 1 dog and 5 cats.
5 cats?
Oh, wait, let me count again. I have 4 cats.
Doesn't make it any better. I hate cats.
Yeah,
hate cats.
I hate cats too.
You hate cats, but how do you have 4? That's crazy.
So I had one. Kara was the first one. It was this female cat under my building in a parking lot, and I named her Kara because there was a pharmacy called Full Care Medical Center. so I decided to name her Kara. I'm not the most creative, guys.
Oh gosh.
And then the other cat was named Ginger because we found him outside of Dampa, and he's an orange cat outside of we love Dampa.
Yeah.
Shout out Dampa. Fantastic food.
The
best seafood.
Yeah, we were just there yesterday. Well, Spice Girl, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sister company of Dampa.
Oh, they have a sister company. Very
in
cool.
Sharjah.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah,
so
waterfront.
funny for you to say Dampa.
I want to go back to Dampa, but after you finish your story.
Oh, is it the pronunciation? Or
It's
is it
Dampa.
No, about something that you sent us a long time ago. But finish about okay, Ginger.
So yeah, Ginger. We found him outside of Dampa, and he was used to seafood. So like we were just giving him shrimp and stuff. And he had a limp because I think his arm got ran over or something. So he had like personality to him. You know, he had a catitude and kind of a thing. I hate myself.
How he knows these words, it still baffles me. I'm like, okay.
No idea. But we decided to take him and adopt him. And I was fine at that point. This was fine with me. Then we went to Dampa again, and there were 2 cats that were siblings. And my sister was like, please, can we take them as well? Oh. And I was like, no, we can't have any more pets at home. And I keep telling my sister it's because she wants to have a child, and like this is her way of filling that void.
Right.
Yeah. So your sister is the ultimate cat lady then.
She is. She's turning into the ultimate cat lady, and I'm like, I'm not here for it. We don't have enough litter boxes.
How's your dog with 4 cats?
He's surprisingly very good. His temperament, So we introduced them slowly, and Snowy was also a rescue off the streets, outside of my sister's workplace. So when we first adopted him, his fur was like completely gray. So we thought that was his natural like thing because it was so dirty, like matted. And then we gave him a shower, and turns out he was like completely white. So we named him Snowy after the Tintin. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
And he does really well with the cats. He's
Surprisingly.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not sure why, but he has really bad anxiety all the time. So the neighbors are complaining a lot now because he barks all the time as soon as he hears anything.
Poor baby. He might have been abused or something before you got him.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on the road, so I don't know, but maybe people kicking him around and those kind of things.
That is.
I've seen like there was one time when you dropped me home and there was a stray dog that we saw. Remember? And like so Janine had left and I was just watching this dog to see what goes on, and all these kids started surrounding him and like throwing stuff at it. And,
next to your house, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, guys, you gotta stop. And then this dog just suddenly ran away, and I'm just like, where did this dog go?
But he had a collar, right?
No, he had nothing.
Oh, okay.
It was like in the middle of Abu Hail, and Abu Hail you barely see any pets.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe this dog lost its way, or someone just abandoned it. And I was just like, it's really sad that these kids are just like throwing stuff. And I'm like, should I take it in for a few days and see what happens? But eventually this dog just ran away after like being scared off by all these kids.
Yeah, and he realized you taking him home is not the best option for him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm like,
it's like,
my dad is afraid of dogs. That's why.
Really?
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
I know
apparently
you're allergic to cats.
I'm
so
allergic to cats.
Can't have a cat.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of dogs too?
No, I love dogs.
Okay.
My dad's afraid of dogs because he was one day in Philippines and like our province.
Yeah.
And he decides to go on a walk. My dad loves walking. So he just starts to walk and then he sees like this pack of dogs and they all start barking at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he can't run because he's like the fattest guy in the world. And he's like, it's like brisk walking and like these dogs start following him. And then apparently, I think they managed to they just left him alone. But as a kid, especially like in India where he was raised in Goa, he was bitten by a dog.
Oh no.
He doesn't have the best experiences.
Yeah, and in third world countries like India, Philippines, the dogs roam around in gangs. Like they are like mafia in the streets. Like they don't mess around.
Because they realize that they're better and stronger together.
As a pack, as a unit, yeah.
But then there's that one leader.
Yeah.
Who's just like, do not mess with my people.
If I was a dog, I'm pretty sure I would be the leader.
Okay.
You think so?
Maybe.
Think you'd be the alpha dog?
Yeah.
I doubt that.
Woof. Woof.
Move. That's a very threatening woof right there. I'm terrified.
Woof. Woof.
I'm submitting to you.
Claim me as
If
king.
you were a dog, you are the typical golden retriever. Because like you're friends with everyone.
That's so true. Yeah,
like,
I feel like you would be a
No, I'd be like a
golden
Rottweiler, I think.
No, you are a golden retriever.
You don't have pit bull genes in you. I feel like you would be like a German Shepherd or a golden retriever.
Yeah,
Or
you are.
a border collie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know what that is.
Border collie. The white dogs, well, black with like white. They're usually
the fast ones.
farm.
Very
dogs.
intelligent, and they farm and they herd.
Yes.
They herd.
So
So
they you know, with sheeps, they're the ones who herd the sheep. So usually they're farmer dogs.
They're the fast ones, right?
They're fast, yeah.
they're pretty fast.
Yeah.
Fast as well.
My dog is part Saluki, so he's a race dog. So
Nice.
he has. I used to go running with him quite a lot, and like I can run for a while, but he wouldn't break a sweat. I mean, he's not supposed to sweat.
Like, why are you leaking?
Why is my dog broken?
Change the battery.
Yeah, I remember running 5K with him, 6K, and like I would just look down and he's fine. Like he's trotting beside me, not even like a full on like sprint.
He's used to it.
He's used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. I would love a dog. Wait, okay, so like back to the Dampa thing, because I remembered it. Because I don't know if the listeners remember, but Anand was the first one to ever send us a voice note on the podcast. Do you
Yes.
remember this?
Oh, I do
Yes.
remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
yours was about a question about going to Dampa with a Filipino date, and
I'm
yeah,
trying to put
it didn't
myself
work
in
out
that
or
picture
something.
right now. Yeah. I'm trying to picture it.
So I, rem-
Oh Lord.
I remember it was it wasn't because I can just imagine this because Anand said he got a date to Dampa and
Yeah.
she was a Brands for Less lady.
She did work at Brands for Less. Yes, that's correct.
How did that go?
So, man, I want to preface this by saying Dampa is like a sacred place to me. Okay, I love it. I don't want anything to ever ruin or sour my experience of Dampa. I ended up
It's the best.
It's the best. It's really great. Even the people that work there, anyway. So I matched with this girl, and she's from the Philippines. She's Filipino.
Shout out.
Shout out, it's cool. So Kabayan. So I go, I'll take her to Dampa because I love Dampa, and it just so happens she was working 2 minutes away at the Brands for Less, right next to Dampa, and she said she had never been.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, this will be fantastic, right? So we're vibing, everything's going great. We go in, we sit, and we order the food. Now, I ordered the seafood dump, which is the best thing to order at Dampa, Cajun style. No other way to do it, right? I order us the drinks too, because I'm not cheap like that. I get us the fruit bowl punches. The food comes, I'm putting on the gloves, and as I'm doing that, we're just talking, right? And then I'm like, oh, what do you do? She's like, I work for Brands for Less. And I was like, oh, where's your family at? She's like, they're at the Philippines. And then she goes, yeah, my boyfriend is also in the Philippines. And I'm like putting on the gloves. I'm like, okay, yeah, your boy. And I'm like, I look up. And then she goes, yeah, my boyfriend actually, like I've been dating him for about 3 or 4 years now. It's really serious. And then she looks at me and she goes, but it's okay because I'm disloyal sometimes and I can cheat. And then I'm like astounded, right? And then as that's happening, she goes, it's okay though, like I'm trying to change that about myself. And then she starts crying.
I want more salt in the seafood. Just tear up on the crab a little bit.
The funniest thing is, before they dump the seafood in the thing, she's crying now, and now the guy comes and he starts pouring the sauce first, and he pours the heart on the table.
That's how they do it.
And I'm like, can you just pour the sauce down the middle of the heart first? What is going on? Right? So then she starts deep crying, and she's talking about how, like, she's cheated on him a lot of times and she doesn't deserve him and how he really loves her. And I'm just like, check please. I don't know what's going on. But then the food came. So then I'm like, anyway, this is the shrimp, this is the crab. Like, I'm like, why does this always happen to me? And by the way, that is a recurring theme for some reason. Every girl I was interested in always ends up having a boyfriend for some reason. And it's a weird thing. I don't know why it happens. But I remember just like having this really weird quiet, like the quietest Dampa feast I've ever had. And, like, you could hear like the air in the room just as I crack the crab, like crack. I'm like, what? I gotta get to the meat, Like she's staring at me.
I already ordered, might as well, right?
I already ordered, right? I'm like, okay, you don't want the oysters and the mussels? I'll have it.
Gosh.
So then at the very end, this girl has the audacity, right? We're eating everything. We're done. And then there's like that much left. She looks at me. She's like, can I take this to go back for my friends? And
So bad.
yeah, way to dampen the mood at Dampa.
And wait, did you end up paying the full bill?
Yeah. I paid the full bill. I'm a gentleman. Like
Okay,
that,
so do you believe in that though? First dates, is it a woman or the man? Or is it a split?
I usually go for a split.
Okay.
That's kind of the way I like to go about it, just to kind of see where her head's at. If she's okay with it, then I can see, okay, like I don't mind like getting the bill every single time after. It's just I want to, it's more of a test for me.
Okay.
To kind of see like, is she cool?
Okay.
Because if she is saying like, oh, hey, we're just getting to know each other, I don't, but then there's also the thing that like, if I invite you out on the date and you're spending all the time to get ready for the date and all that stuff, then technically, I'm torn between it. It's
you believe in split, right?
I believe in splitting at the first date.
That's that alpha dog talking right there. The leader of the pack.
That's a golden retriever talking.
Woof, Bill, please, woof. No, but because I strongly believe that if I have to pay for it, I would like for you to at least do that dance, where you're like, oh no, let's split it. Or where's my wallet?
You want
and
the perception.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't mind paying it, but I really like that. Janine did not do that on our first date. She was like, I'm paying on my Zomato, bro, at Denny's. So it was already bad enough.
You know why? That's why. Because I'm like, it's Denny's. You have your Zomato. I'm not going to do the dance.
Yeah.
No, but Denny's is a fine establishment for first dates.
Denny's
Really
is,
now.
yeah, you can get some pancakes.
Yeah,
She's like,
that's
do you
what
have
they-
entertainer? You're like, entertainer? I barely know her.
Yeah, I believe in men taking the first bill because usually it's the man who initiates. Let's have that first date. Then after, we're fair now. We would split the bill.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
true.
you'll take it, sometimes I'll take it. But the first date, I firmly believe that the man should initiate at least.
I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah, there
know.
should maybe a dance, but then the man should be like, no,
Let me ask you this. What is your opinion on if the girl asks the man out on a date?
pay for it.
The girl
girl?
pays for it?
Yeah, if she can. Yeah. Who initiated?
But when does it
the
ever happen
dates?
that a girl will ask a guy on a date?
I ask you on dates.
Yeah, but now that we're dating, but
I've asked
has
men
a
on
girl
dates.
ever asked you out?
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
one or two, yeah.
Who are already in a relationship?
Wait, what? We're all
I have a
Wait,
boyfriend
actually?
back home.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I've asked men out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because it's if you like someone, why not ask them
Yeah,
out?
that is true.
Yeah.
There's no time for games now as well, right?
Plus, I like the forwardness, to be honest. I don't like having to initiate every single time. I like it when the woman takes initiative.
Yeah.
I think men like that actually.
I do.
Right?
Yeah,
Because they're
of
like,
course.
whoa, startled. This is not normal.
Yeah.
Usually women wouldn't, but why not?
Mm.
You know?
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cried after the dinner though because he didn't like me.
Oh, no.
The guy that I asked out.
Oh, no.
I'm just like, he's not interested.
Who was he?
Don't cry. I'll tell you after.
No, you can tell me now.
My crush.
Which crush?
The
The
jiu-jitsu
jiu-jitsu guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Usually it's wine, dine, and something else, but you did wine, dine, and wine again.
Yeah,
after.
exactly. And wine after. I'm like, why am I so stupid? Of course he doesn't like me. But yeah.
But you're also into martial arts, right?
Yeah. So I've always been into it. So growing up, I did karate when I was a kid.
Nice.
So most useless sport, martial art, if you think about it. No
I don't know
offense
why
to
I'm
karate.
laughing. Seriously, no offense, but I can imagine you learning karate in Sharjah.
Is it one-on-one or is it with a class of people?
It's with a
kids?
class of people, and it's more like a routine. You just learn these dance moves
Patterns,
and
right?
patterns,
It's like
of
patterns.
movement.
Yeah. The lion, tiger.
And then I learned Taekwondo after a while, which was more functional, I guess. I guess you can use it sometimes if you need to kick someone or knock something off from a really high platform. And then I got into jiu-jitsu and boxing and those kind of things
Nice.
for a while. Yeah.
And you're still very much into fitness and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so I will say, and this is something I wanted to discuss with you guys. I'm into fitness a lot, but my reasoning for fitness has changed over the years. So I used to lift initially because I was obese and I really wanted to get into shape. We can talk about that as well in my childhood. So the reasoning changed because I realized lifting weights is really great for reducing my anxiety, and I get a lot of anxious thoughts or depressing kind of thoughts. Yeah. But it also strokes my ego, right? Because you get that pump, you feel really confident, and the confidence is nice as well. But then it has a lot to do with ego as well, because the bigger you get, the more compliments you get, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Now I'm more focused towards cardio and running because it helps my mental a lot more. So the minimum I have to run is 40 minutes. And I have a theory on it where if I do a slow-paced running for 40 minutes of cardio, I'm able to think a lot quicker on my feet. And also, if I just get that blood flow to my brain, there's literally before I run, there's a state that I'm in, and there's a completely different state after I run. There's literally a vein that goes out the side of my head and pops out once I'm done running, which means that the blood flow must be there because before running, it's not there. So I've said this to a lot of people that I can literally physically see the change.
Yeah.
And a lot of people haven't noticed that, I guess, about cardio. When I weightlift, though, there's also that mental element of like, when I go really hard for a couple of months and people are like, whoa, looking big, whatever. And then I go again, like now I'm not lifting anymore. Like just yesterday, people are like, oh, you stopped going to the gym? Or like, oh, you look smaller than before. And then that gets in my head as well. And it's never from women. It's always
always
from
dudes.
men.
It's always dudes. Yeah.
That
Always.
is so true. Because you guys notice each other's like swollenness, you know?
Yeah, but don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
His face like
Looking swole, bro.
Yeah, don't say it like that. It's more, I guess it's like we appreciate how much hard work goes into it. But with women, all of the women in my life have said like, I like you a lot better when you're not that beefy and big.
So
like it
more
looks
cardio.
weird.
Yeah.
But the cardio is more so like there's no ego involved. It's more so just for my mental benefits. So that's what I've been doing for the past almost month now.
Do you run indoors or outdoors?
So I run no, because I run for 40 minutes. It would be ridiculous if I ran indoors. Like I would be running from my bedroom back to the hall. And it's a tiny ass.
Or like the treadmill.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay, that makes a lot.
Or a treadmill.
That makes a lot more
What's
sense.
that?
Setting the input.
I can just imagine Anand running in his house.
Yeah, with the dog and
40
4
minutes.
cats. Just like
Whoops, sorry.
no, so I run in my parking lot of my building in a loop, which is terrible for my knees because it's an uneven parking lot.
Yeah.
There's a park like 5 minutes away, but I'm too lazy to go there. So I just like go to my parking lot and there's cars that are constantly coming in the way.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly just running around them.
Also, when you're pivoting, right? Like it hurts because you're sort of bending your knees. a little bit.
Horrible
Yeah.
for the knees.
Yeah.
So my left knee has almost given out at this point. So I have to be really careful about it. But every time I have something to do that I have to think like clearly, I have to go for the run. So this morning my knee was killing me. I went for an hour run before this podcast because it's important to me. Because otherwise I would be sitting here wondering what to say next. Right now I'm just in flow. Like I can just keep talking.
So you find your thoughts slower when you don't get that morning run.
Absolutely. Or when I just don't get the blood flow going in my body.
Right.
But I feel really I feel like that's not a good thing because it's like an addiction like any other thing. And I wish I could just be that person that could wake up in the morning and like go to work and be like, function without needing to do it. It's like a necessary thing I need to do. Otherwise I don't feel complete.
No, but I disagree with you at that point because this is a good habit. It's nothing like wrong in any way because I totally agree with you. Like there were few I'm just throwing an example, but like an interview which I had to do whenever I do an interview, I have to make sure that I hit the gym because it really puts me in that spot and it gets me to that state of mind where I'm like in flow, like exactly what you said. Otherwise, I will have to rely on supplements. Like every time I do a show, I make sure that I have to take Alpha Brain.
Oh, right.
So I take Alpha Brain and I really don't feel the same effect as I do when I hit the gym or when I do like some form of walking or getting some direct sunlight.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I know that you get into that state when you are like your blood is pumping and everything.
But is it too much of a bad thing where like if I'm injured or something, I'm just not the same person and you don't want to be around that person. It's like I try, to be the same, but then it's like I'm just moody or like I wish I had a baseline. I don't really have a baseline.
Right. Okay. But I think it's needed, right? Like, because I got into a really bad spot as well. And what they say is that in order for you to have a better, like, non-depressive thought or state of mind, mental clarity, you have to get sun, so vitamin D. You have to get some exercise. You have to move your body. You have to get some good sleep. So I think those are like, and of course, nutritive through food. I think those are just things that you have to do in life because as humans, we're built that way. Like, ages ago, we're not just sitting around and like looking through our phones. We're actually outside. Women are probably cooking, getting fruits, whatever
making
it is.
Sandwiches.
Men are out hunting.
Right. Yeah.
Want to start again?
No. Please continue.
But yeah, we're all outside getting.
She is the one that gets the birds from the balcony, by the way. So
Exactly. Thank you.
There was actually a dead cockroach because we went to see an apartment in the morning. There was a dead cockroach, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near that thing. I was gonna leave the house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm like insects, birds. No, birds I'm okay with, but like a dead bird to carry it, I'm like, no, never.
Yeah.
In my entire life.
And last night, something happened. The glass fell out of the table, and Joshua was the one sweeping it away. So that just goes to show who
The roles have how the roles have reversed.
how the
You don't have to tell
tables
everyone
turned.
about that, right? I'm just like sleeping. And
And I was asleep. I'm like, what happened? He's like, it's okay. I'll do it. I'll sweep it. Thank you.
no,
Josh.
but I agree with Janine because Aubrey Marcus, the owner of On It.
On it, yeah.
He speaks about like the first hour of the day is the most important to anyone because it sets the tone for the whole day, right? And it's like the first thing you have to do in the morning when you get up is drink like a liter or something, or I think 500 ml of water, so you get the hydration going back in because you lose a lot of water when you sleep, and direct sunlight for like 15 minutes and some sort of movement. So his movement is going on his trampoline for like some time.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
and,
nice. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends because I realize when I have a solid morning,
Sorry, I just
solid morning bow.
It's not that. I just imagined like Aubrey's wife, like there's like a panic situation. Like she's like, oh my God, like the house is on fire. And she looks at him. He's just bouncing on a small trampoline. And he's like, yeah, but I gotta get this in, babe. Like I gotta get this working.
This is
The
my
fire
morning.
can wait.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think you started laughing when I said solid morning. I'm like, no, but it really sets the tone for the day. Like there are days when I'm late for work and when I'm in that panic, I realize I'm gonna have a bad day.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole day, like especially like 10-15 minutes late for work and I'm driving fast and I'm like taking a very quick shower instead of my like routine shower and stuff. It really destroys the rest of the day for me. So I think waking up on time and making sure you get a solid 7 or 8 hours in.
Oh yeah. I need that 8 hours, bro. I need that. And I have a couple of things that I also follow. So like I have to do in order to maintain. So I have 8 hours, obviously. Second is working out in the morning. The third thing is breath work. So I do a lot of breath work meditation. So I do that every single day before any show. If you catch me at any place in the room, I will be doing breath work at some point. It just helps me focus in. And I usually do Wim Hof. So that kind of repeated fast breathing. And then I take a freezing cold shower every morning. So that just your face, Janine.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I can't.
I tried getting my girlfriend into it as well, and it's impossible. But it really helps me just wake up and get to it. And ever since I started doing that, I don't take hot showers anymore.
Really? Because it's because you don't like it anymore, or
I do take it. Like, okay, that's not the truth. I take it sometimes. That would be really weird if I just like always can you get in the hot tub. No, I take it sometimes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I'm ever feeling down or lethargic, it just like wakes me up, and it's a 30-second thing. Like I'll hop in, hop out. It's not like I'm staying around for long.
Josh does the same as well. Like you like taking cold showers, or you do this like tub full of ice.
Yeah, an ice bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's called a polar plunge, I think, or something like that.
I can't. But this
But,
is Wim Hof does this as well, right?
Yeah. So I used to go to this place. We should go sometime. It's in Alcuz.
The cryo place.
No. This is what's the name of this place?
Something.
I forgot. It's some like athletic recovery place, and it's like a real like polar plunge. So they have like 3 settings, which is like 8 degrees, 4 degrees, and I think somewhere in between, like 5 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you just stay there for like 15 minutes, and the initial part is like really shocking. Like it shocks your body, but then after that you settle down, you tone down, and it's really amazing for me. Like it does wonders for my skin, for my clarity, for everything. I need to do it more, but then like paying $100 for that is like is the pain.
I remember wanting to do that, but I didn't want to pay the $100, so I got like an ice bath in my house, and I tried it that way.
Cool.
And it was cool. I only used it the one time though, so it was a waste of money from Amazon. I bought like this giant tub, and then I recorded like an Instagram video. Of me
I remember
trying
seeing
it
this
out.
video. Yes.
Yeah, and then I never used it again because it's just so much work. Like you have to buy like so much ice in order to make the bath cool.
I can imagine. Yeah. But I guess still less 100 dirhams, right? Like probably 20 dirhams, 30 to get that much ice.
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
So still not the same. And you can say as long as you want. Compared to this, I guess.
No, they say
like
15 minutes is ideal. Like it says you don't get any more benefits of it after 15 minutes. But I like to stay like 15, 20. I like to submerge myself as well, like completely.
That's long.
Yeah.
I think I lasted maybe 10 minutes, so that's longer than I did. That's good.
But we should do it sometime.
Yeah.
And then they say that if you want to get like the full effects, you jump into the sauna immediately, and you get that change in temperature when it comes to your core temperature and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fitness is something that I'm passionate about. So
really now. Okay. Well, we both are. It's just that I fell off of the bandwagon. I used to like really wake up, have my own routine, do everything, have like my quiet time. I read my Bible, and then I go to the gym, and after gym I get to work.
Weren't you into kickboxing as well or something?
I used to do jiu-jitsu as well. But then because of the pandemic, it's going to be difficult because you're going to spar with people like literally face to face. And, you know, what if that person is potentially a COVID positive person? So I stopped for a while. But I guess now because it's getting better, maybe I'll get back to it. Because it was really amazing to me.
So I remember going to Entropy Jiu-Jitsu during the heights of COVID. And I really wanted to do it because I was watching the
Is
karate.
that in Wafi?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe so. And there was, I was watching, what was it called? Cobra Kai on Netflix. And I remember just being like so pumped about the show that I was like, I signed up for like a free trial class. And I went, and it was during COVID, so they gave us the sparring partners was a doll, like a thing stuffed with pillows.
Right, yeah.
I was like, this is not the same.
Yeah.
Like, I want the smell of the armpits and the crotches. It gets you
The
in
sweat.
the sweat, like to like feel like you're in there, you know, with the Brazilians.
Yeah.
And, like it's not the same.
So you wanted a Brazilian.
No, well, let's not go there.
I want the Brazilian, please.
Since we're on the topic of Brazilian men, can we talk romance really quick?
Yeah, go for it. But look, just going back, it's true. It's not the same if it was just with the doll. Like you can do your, you know, different moves of practicing.
It's
it
never the
you would
same
have
if it's
to
with the
practice.
doll.
But before I did jiu-jitsu, dude,
I'm just like, get a robot or something.
before doing jiu-jitsu, like
Japanese
I would
robot for jiu-jitsu.
blow
Instead
up
of
doll.
tapping, it just goes yamete. Yamete.
I used to look at these people who are doing jiu-jitsu at the gym because I used to do Muay Thai and kickboxing. Never started jiu-jitsu, and I would just look at them sparring, and I'm like, I see a man and a woman like just rolling around, and to me, I was just like, is that okay? Like, it looks a little bit, you know, not okay.
Dangerous.
Yeah, not just
No,
dangerous.
not
Like,
dangerous.
you know, what if there was a guy who's like a douchebag? You know, it's a way for them to actually like touch and like if they wanted to.
And I also was like not used to it at first.
Yeah.
And so the first couple of days when I was rolling, even with a guy, I felt kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like that physical contact you're not used to. And then
And
rolling.
it's so intimate.
Yes, it's
like you're
so
really
intimate. And rolling
See
with
each
women
other.
as well, I was really not used to.
Yeah.
So I was like afraid in my own thoughts. Like, am I gonna like, you know, not I wasn't scared of like physically touching her anywhere and I was scared of getting aroused accidentally.
Yeah.
and not
And a
being
Me
aware
Too
of it.
movement.
And a Me Too moment, right?
Jiu-jitsu gym.
Exactly.
But to just answer that, like when you're on the mat, like it would, and you're trying not to get killed because of course that's what's gonna happen. That thought never crosses your mind anymore.
Exactly.
So I tried it. I'm like, you'll never think of nasty thoughts when you're there because the only thought that you can think about is I don't want to get killed.
Yes.
Because you're literally gonna be killed if you don't move.
And also that gi is so uncomfortable.
it
so
is.
it's just like you're grabbing onto that and like
Yes.
you're not thinking any thoughts other
Yeah.
than like how it's like chafing you.
Yes, you're in pain, but you also want to get out of pain and you want to kill this person. So there's no like nasty thoughts that go around in your
Yes.
head. But like I can understand like as an onlooker, just looking at how people are doing it, I always get questioned like, you do jiu-jitsu like with a guy? I'm like, yeah, with a guy. But then when you're there, you'll never think of those thoughts, except for that crush that I had.
And we'll be back with more.
We'll take a quick 5-minute break while I break up with Janine and then we come back.
He puts her in an armbar.
Oh, is it? No.
No, but going back, but like even for me, whenever I see people doing jiu-jitsu and everything, I'm like, is this really needed in life? Like, like I'm like, you live in Dubai, it's like this one of the safest places in the world. I'm like, will you ever use this in a
Yes.
real world setting? Like, I don't know. Have you ever been in a fight in real life, like a street fight or something, and you actually had to like what did I learn in Taekwondo or what did I learn in Karate?
I've been in a couple of fights. I've never used anything that I've learned because when you're in that fight mode, you're not really thinking about like the roundhouse kick that you learned from Master Yoshi.
His head is there.
Exactly. I think jiu-jitsu is a good way to de-escalate a situation without having to get physically violent.
Exactly.
The thing I will say though is like it's not feasible if it's more than one person because obviously
you'd have to focus yourself on one person.
You're focusing on one person. You're trying to like get a choke in, and someone just comes and kicks you in the head like their friend.
That is so true.
In a fight, anything should go right. Really, like in a street fight.
Yeah.
Poking eyes or anything. But I've never had to use jiu-jitsu. No.
Wait, well, I want to know why you started this fight.
Oh, it was a bunch of silly reasons. So there was one time when I was in the desert. With a friend with a couple of friends, and we were drinking. I don't know if I'm not allowed to say that, but we were teens, and this one guy came and grabbed my hat off of my head and just started running around, right? And he was a friend of mine, like it was cool, whatever. I didn't know who he was, so I ran back to him and I was like, "Hey, give me my hat back," right? And at that point I was balding as well, so I was self-conscious about my hair. So it's like, I was a bit drunk too, so I was like, "Hey, just give me back my hair." Some dude who was his friend thought I was like fighting with him or something. So he came and sucker punched me from the
face.
side. Yeah, on the side, in the face. And the next thing I know, I was on the ground.
Oh gosh.
And I wasn't even like yelling at the dude or whatever. I was just like, "Hey, give me back my hat." Like whatever. I'm like not a guy who escalates situations like that. So then I get up and I'm super pissed off because I'm like, if you want to fight me, like at least tell me like a man. Don't sucker punch me from the side.
Right.
So then I like went up to him and I was like, "Hey, let's fight, like, whatever, man to man." And then right as we were getting into it, I think I remember like throwing a punch or two, but then our friends separated us because they were like, "Oh no, like he has some friends who can like come and beat you guys up and like you don't want to get in trouble with him." In those times there was a lot of like gangs and all of that things, and they were like, ras baras, which is like 1 versus 1.
Yeah.
So they were just like, "It's not worth it." And then I remember going back to McDonald's with a black eye and all my friends are just eating and they're like laughing at me.
Oh,
and I'm just upset and I'm eating the sausage McMuffin and like I'm so sad. And I remember that guy was the guy who punched me was the guy who drove us to the desert. And while he was driving us to the desert, he was playing this one song. And it was the "I'm an Albatross." It's that EDM song.
Yes.
And to this day, when I hear that, I get flashbacks and I get upset. So when I'm like learning jiu-jitsu or something, I channel that song in my head. I play it and I get upset.
And now you're ready to
and now
smash
I'm ready.
someone.
I'm like, "Yeah, sucker punch me now, Ahmed."
Ahmed, you shouldn't have done that, dude.
You shouldn't have.
So how did you get into comedy then from there?
Way to twist things around, John.
He's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna get into comedy."
Like, yeah, with the comedy thing, I always knew. So like, there's.
I always knew I was a comedian.
I always knew that I was.
No, wait.
the funniest-
Before we go into that, I want to say how I met Anand. Because I remember there was a day when
jiu-jitsu.
I'm Ahmed.
You're the doll.
He came and said, "I'm the top dog."
No, I don't know if you remember this, but we were at Kickers back in the day in Sports City.
Yeah.
And I think I was on, and I had a set, and I think you were before me or after me.
Before you, definitely before you at that point.
And Anand went like straight in. He had like jokes like, I guess the first time I'm seeing Anand, it's like the first time anyone's seeing Anand. I think it was your first show ever in Kickers, and he went like straight into like the dirty jokes, like, and I'm like, whoa, this guy like has no filter really, because he went straight into it, like, "Hi, I'm Anand," and then goes something about like all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, this guy's like no filter. And I remember that, and then I go on, and then at the end, Anand comes up to me. I don't know if you remember this. And he's like, "Bro, you had a nice set, and I love your tattoos." And then he showed me his Naruto tattoo. I'm like, virgin. I'm kidding. But then,
what a bromance story. I didn't remember that.
But then from there, I think that's where we hit it off. And then I went the next day to your graduation ceremony at Dubomedy.
That's what I remember.
And you killed. You killed. He didn't want to, like, his set was done and people were like yelling and chanting, and he didn't want to get off stage because he was like really soaking it in.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'm like, this guy's like well deserved. like stand there, like soak it in, get the applause, get all the like the laughters in, and then he left the stage. And then from there, I think that's where, like I said, like things kicked off from there. Then Anand and I did a lot of roast battles. We shared the same stage. He's hosted a lot, and I think that's like just seeing Anand in all those places really brought us together.
And that graduation ceremony was a bittersweet event because that was a room of 500 people.
Yeah.
And it was the second time I was ever performing. The night before, I was very confident because it went really well at Kickers, and I wasn't expecting that. And I was just trying out my set before this graduation ceremony. And so I went to that, and 4 people performed before me. And I remember just going to the bathroom every couple of seconds and doing my breathing because I was so nervous. I would just go to the bathroom and go, right? And then I would come back.
Imagine the person in the stall, like, what's going on in the stall? Like,
right? Not a good place to be doing breath work, by the way, the bathroom. So,
just a tip for everyone.
Yeah, do not do Wim Hof in the stalls. So I remember going up, and I remember just like people hanging on to every word I was saying, and it was going really, really well. And I remember looking at my the teachers who taught me comedy. I mean, they didn't, like, you know, who helped me hone comedy. I won't say taught me comedy, but honed Mina and Ali El Sayed, and they were in the side. And I just looked at them like, is this actually happening right now? This is crazy. Because as Joshua would know, for the entire 8 weeks, I think that the class was, or 4 weeks, you're just in a room with other comedians and they're as nervous as you, and you're trying out your jokes and you're not getting any laughs.
Yeah.
For like 8 weeks. You're just like, so what's the deal with airplanes? And then there's like nothing, right? So then I go up and I talk about like all those different kinds of things, like how Indian people would make for bad thieves because they're too nice and this kind of thing. And then like you spray him with pepper spray, but I had this joke about how like you spray him with pepper spray, but he's so used to the spices that he thinks it's cologne. And everyone goes, ah, like they start laughing. And I see my sister in the crowd. I see Joshua, who I didn't like recognize that much at that point because it was the second time meeting him. But it's bittersweet because I have never had a show as good as that since, and I've always been chasing that feeling,
right,
ever since. And it's like a feeling I can never get back, really, unless I do a show for 1,000 people, maybe like in the future.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think to me, it's just, I don't know how you guys do it, but to subject yourself to hundreds, maybe thousands of people who may or may not laugh. I don't know how you guys do it. It just takes a different level of confidence to actually do that, because every single thing you say, you have to wait for their reaction and see if they're actually going to react to it, to whatever you said. And if you start off without laughs, how do you continue on your set? Like, how do you still subject yourself to the rest of the couple of minutes that you have?
I think the super important thing is acknowledging it. Is if a joke doesn't work, just by the mere fact of saying, well, that didn't work, or like, oh, these are new jokes, guys. Just acknowledging it breaks the tension in the room, and it makes people a lot more at ease. Like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's trying out new jokes. The other thing that makes the mark of a true comedian, I think, is if you bomb terribly, the ability to come back after that and keep going is what separates it. Because me and Joshua over the years have seen so many people fall off and you never see them again.
And that was it.
Yeah, because bombing essentially ties back to our ancestry and our olden times. It's like you're making a speech in front of the whole village and then they cast you out of the village. You're no longer included in the village. That's how you feel.
Right.
Like you've been kicked out.
Right.
So the ability to come back from that is really what makes a comic, I think.
So how many times have you been kicked out?
Of where? Of the village?
Of the village.
Let's just say he's moved villages.
Quite a few times. No, but I totally agree. Like in Dubomedy, the class always starts off with like 15, maybe 20 people sometimes. And at the graduation show, it's like 8, 10 people. So even in that process of like learning the art of comedy,
people are weeded out.
Yeah, people like start backing out and they all have weird excuses and stuff. But I totally agree with Anand said. And it's a very, very rare form of like, you know, like Anand like speaks his heart out over there, even if he's like angry at a certain something, or if he wants to talk about a feeling that he once had or like some childhood trauma. It's a safe place because that's when people see like, oh, I'm not the only one in this situation, or like, oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've seen you after that at many shows, and there's a lot of different. So the comedy scene here in Dubai has been growing for a long time, and it's been getting better and better. Now we have alternate forms of comedy as well, a lot of improv shows, and back in the day there was just a couple of formats that we used to follow. Regular comedy shows. We used to do roast battles, and that was really like there wasn't even that much improv nights ever. That I don't know. Can you remember any other alternate forms of comedy that we used to do?
Maybe like what Sahar used to do, like a quick game show on the stage or something like that. But
yeah.
But now it's really evolved. Like there's people who do music comedy. There's more improv. There's an improv troupe.
That's actually really cool. I mean, as an audience, because when I grew up in Dubai as well, and I'm so into comedy and traveling and actually going into stand-up comedy shows and all that. Coming back here, I'm like, I wish Dubai had a scene like that.
Yeah.
And then like just a couple of years back, everything started like sprouting up again after, pre-pandemic, and then now post-pandemic, it's been going really well. So people
it's
who
going
actually
stronger than
enjoy,
ever, actually. Like I feel there is a lack of comedians here in Dubai itself.
A lack of
because the same
variety now.
comedians are there, and like every night that you go to.
Yeah, it must be difficult for you guys because you would have to write more jokes because it's not like you're touring, Dubai, Al Ain, Abu Dhabi, Fujairah. Like it's the same, not the same crowd all the time, but usually the same people who would actually gravitate towards comedy shows would come a lot of times. So you would have to have a variety of jokes, or else they'll just like listen to the same things over and over again.
Do you want to?
No, like I just wanted to say that's the reason why I think Anand and me became really close, because we have a very similar style of humor. Like there are jokes which I don't get any laughs on, but Anand is like the only one in the crowd laughing, especially like my really dark stuff. Yeah. But one thing I really like about Anand, he can manage like a different room all the time. Like especially when it comes to hosting, he knows how to read the room. You do that a lot, and your style also changes. Like I remember you did a TED Talk as well.
Yeah. I did a TED Talk acting as Steve Jobs, but I was Steve Jobless. And,
oh my gosh.
I was trying to sell instead of Apple, I was selling a Mango phone that sold at Dragon Mart. And I was just like this really cocky Indian guy. And it was really cool to be invited for that. But I think that's the thing that I noticed about you as well, is like at first I was like, wow, this guy's humor is really dark. And I remember the first 2 jokes that you had made, like I'll never forget it, with the dad joke. I don't want to give it away, but it was so like, I was like, wow, this guy's able to speak his mind. And like I was dying laughing the first time I saw Joshua on stage. So that's the reason why I really went and spoke with him. I didn't really speak to many other people other than Joshua and Abs. The first times when I was in Kickers, Abs, I went up to him and I said, "You look like the serial killer from You."
He does, yeah. Joe Goldberg, right?
Yeah,
he gets that a lot, apparently.
Yeah, he does get that a lot.
Now that I think about it, yes, he does. Oh wow, yeah.
So that's the thing I noticed about Joshua, and then also. We had many shows. For some reason, any show that like we accept, we always end up together in some random spot over there.
And it's like always me after him or him after me. So we're like also tied up like together.
Yeah.
So if I know he's doing well, then I'm like, okay, I will do well. If I'm doing bad, then
he knows he's gonna do
exactly. Yeah. It's
not like similar. In that sense, but I know like because Anand and I, we have the similar style. Like we go a little bit dark, a little bit dirty as well sometimes. So like we know we can read the room like that. Okay, if Anand's doing well, then I will know that I will also do quite well.
Yeah, but I think yours is more darker, and I think mine is more dirtier.
Yeah,
I think that's
yes.
the way we go.
As an audience who've seen both of you,
right.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's how you should describe it.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that I want to evolve, and that will evolve over the years, is I want to get into storytelling a lot more, because I have a lot of insane stories in my life that have happened to me, and I have people are like, that's what you should talk about when I talk in the comedy scene, so that's definitely what I want to get into more.
Yeah.
But storytelling as an art, especially when it comes to comedy, is very tough. Like I have so many half-written jokes about like my childhood, the reason how I got into comedy.
Same.
Like me being raised like Filipino Indian in the Middle East, all this kind of stuff. But it's such an art. Like that's why I really like, my favorite comedian is Hassan Minhaj. Because if you've seen a special at Homecoming King on Netflix, it's the perfect special for me. It's like truly a one-man show where he really just talks about his life. No jokes here in between, but it's just literally how he was raised in America and how he made it and stuff. So it's really an art, and I think that's something which will take a lot of time, but I'm willing to go on that journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But like, so Anand and I, we also got really close when we started doing roast battles, because that's something we really love, man. Seriously, and it's such a fun skill to have, especially like in the beginning when we did our first roast shows. Those were the highs that I was chasing, to be honest.
Yeah,
like yours might have been the first show.
Yeah,
but for me on roast battles, it was like in a room like that where people like, oh, and like audience members coming and walking to the front and like giving you a high five.
They're like, I can't believe he said that. And then you're like, you're wondering, did I really say that? And then you're going for blood sometimes in roast battles. So like you have maybe certain things that we're doing, but like that we're saying, but then we go off script sometimes. Like I've gone off script sometimes where it's just like Joe, for example, came for blood, and then like I went completely off script, and it's just like
he was out to kill. Joe was out to kill, but Anand, that day I remember he held his own and he really went back at it.
When you say off script, do you mean you guys know what each other will say?
No.
Okay.
It's more
like
so
your
like
own.
Yeah, it's more so like you roast me and you say something about me, and then I just came up with a genius comeback for that.
Right.
And then that's its own roast.
Right.
Right.
Got it.
So,
got it.
Yeah.
Like something quick thinking, like on your feet right there and then. Like when he says a joke, then you give a quick comeback, like something about like what you're
These
wearing.
are off limits. Like you can just talk about anything, right? Everything from appearance to if you know that person or the way he speaks, the way he talks, whatever.
So in general, we haven't gone extremely personal in the roast battles. Like we don't go on like people's family or their significant others, unless it's like something more basic. Like for example, I have joked about abs. Well, actually, I won't say that right now, but we have gone a bit on the baseline,
right?
But touch and go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like mostly what I've seen is mostly on appearance and profession.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because we're talking about roast, so what is your opinion on the hottest topic out there about Will Smith and Chris Rock?
Oh.
Like as a comedian, who is also one of the roast, top. How do you call it? Roast kings? You guys?
Roast masters.
You are the roast master.
Yes.
What is your opinion on that?
I'll say, I think that, doing a roast, especially in such a giant crowd of people, is extremely hard. And Chris Rock is, if there's anyone that could do it, it's him. I think Will Smith, having been a comedian in the past, he attempted it, but he failed at it. Should have known how tough it is, and the very fact that Chris Rock was roasting everyone in the room, it's not just that he blindly went after Jada as an attack, should have been an indicator to Will that like he's just making jokes. I think it didn't need to escalate physically. If he wanted to say something, he could have just said something, but him doing that kind of wasn't the right move in my opinion. I think that he could, like, just him doing that kind of made him out to be the bad guy, which I hate because I love Will Smith. Like I grew up watching like his movies,
Fresh Prince,
and what's that movie where he's alone and it's like he has a dog?
I Am Legend.
Oh my god, that movie, bro.
Or Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think that like he shouldn't have gone that route. I understand though, emotions are in play, and sometimes like you don't have control over your own emotions and stuff like that.
Mental health is unstable.
Yeah, he's been through a rough year in the past as well.
And apparently Jada is like really controlling, right?
Yeah.
Like because you could see in the clip, that's the thing that still baffles me till this day. Like you can see Will Smith laughing in the beginning.
Yeah.
And Jada has a straight face, and then all of a sudden you see him walking towards the stage, and it's like, okay, maybe he just wants to give me a high five or like talk to me in like a sidebar or something. But no, he goes in straight for the slap.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that are really off about it.
Bro, as soon as Will Smith would have slapped me, in my head, it would have gone, I'm an albatross. And then I would have jumped. I would have jumped. Not today, Will. Not today.
Like, now with your jiu-jitsu, equipped with jiu-jitsu skills, you would know how to de-escalate the situation.
Exactly. I would do a double leg and then, oh my God.
Choke him out.
But no, I saw like an interview too, like of Will, and this is one people haven't seen a lot, where Will was like, I was so excited for her 40th birthday. Have you guys seen this?
Jada's birthday?
Jada's 40th birthday. And he's like, I planned for months and months, and I wanted everything to be perfect. And he made it the most special 40th birthday for her. And she came up to him after and during the party and said, I hope you're happy that now your ego is fulfilled. And she said that it was just all for his own ego. And he said it shattered him.
I think I saw this. I saw this.
And I was like, damn.
Oh.
Really did my man Will dirty. Like, how can you do
Say
that?
that.
How can you be with such a person, I feel?
Yeah.
I guess love just works in mysterious ways, right?
But then there's a line between that and an abusive relationship, right?
Exactly.
Like gaslighting and toxic.
And I think that's how she is. I mean, based on, we don't know what happens in closed doors, right?
Yeah.
But based off the videos that we've seen, how she interacts with Will and all of these like allegations, not even allegations. She said she actually cheated on Will, right?
Yeah.
But they have apparently an open relationship, so
Because he
that's
did
also,
as well,
yeah.
apparently. I don't know.
But you know how
It's
the
just a
media
mess
is
up.
like painting her now. It's like everyone is like making her out to be a super villain, which I
Yeah.
think is like a little crazy. Like she looks like Lex Luthor, but she should she should know. Like
Quite bad.
It's quite bad.
Because look, Will also has his own will,
Yes.
to do whatever he wants. But he also did something wrong.
He did.
We can't just pin it in total, into Jada.
Yeah.
Yes, of course she did something. But what I would say is that it's sad because I'm not a comedian. And this just goes to show that now everyone can just go up on stage and like slap people.
physically
and, like,
assault someone. Yeah.
if they are like offended. And also, Jada and Will were sitting in front. That's the rule to roasting people. If you're in a comedy show or a comedy bar,
Exactly.
if you sit in front, you are
Setting
enlisting yourself for the comedians to actually talk to you and offend you and roast you. That's how it is. Like, people know that. That's why people don't want to sit in front, or they would love to sit in front. Depends on, So for them sitting in front and for them knowing that Chris Rock is a comedian. Look, even Ricky Gervais, everyone who hosted the Oscars roasts people. So it's not like he single-handedly attacked Jada in that way. And, I don't even know that she has alopecia. Yeah, maybe the joke is not the best because it's a little bit distasteful because he was attacking her, whatever she had.
People were saying that apparently she had a really bad haircut, or her hair was thinning or something, but it wasn't diagnosed. And then she came out and said that it was alopecia. But who knows? Like, that is a really hard thing. And I'm saying that, and I have the authority to say that because I lost my hair at 16. So Jada, I ain't never gone and slapped someone because I've gotten roasted about my bald ass so many times by Joshua and by other comics. But like, I never went up and, how can she slap? Essentially, but how can Will?
How can she slap?
She came out with her. I don't know if it's a legit interview, but I saw an article saying that she came out saying that I never asked for him to slap him. I never asked him to go and defend me. I don't need defending. I'm a woman who doesn't need defending.
Of course.
And to say that after Will did that,
yes,
he's
so
like,
bad.
all my efforts went to vain.
Yeah.
Like
Will
vain, right?
really got the short end of the stick completely.
True. And now he's like banned for 10 years.
Yes. Can I ask you one question? Did you guys see the Andrew Schultz defending Will Smith? Oh my God, guys.
He went off. I showed that to Janine the other day.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
And there's this one line that I showed to my girlfriend because she was upset at the whole thing too. She was like, this is all just fodder for the white man to kind of like, it's like turning into black men are again violent and aggressive, and like it's painting that whole narrative.
Yes.
And I agreed to a certain extent, about the whole thing. But then I showed her this one joke that's so He says Jada actually helped Will with his training for the movie King Richard. Because every time she goes down on him, it looks like a bouncing tennis ball. It was the funniest thing.
No, the better one was something about the plumber and the drain, the drain and the bathtub. That was the one that put like me on the spot. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Schultz did a really, really good way.
He went off. He went off. He's like, he doesn't He doesn't hold back in any of these things.
I love it. I love it. Because, I mean, he's a comedian. So to him, I'm sure he's like flabbergasted at what happened.
Yeah. A lot of people are, but there's also some speculation that this whole thing was like a complete stage thing.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Is it a possibility at all? That like they were like, you know what, this Oscars is so boring, no one's ever gonna watch this, let's just make something happen.
I didn't even know it was happening.
Me neither.
And I just woke up to it in the morning when I checked my Instagram or something. I'm like, oh, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock. I'm thinking there's so many things to it. Like, okay, first of all, the ratings were really low for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And if there's some pictures where they say that Chris Rock had a padding on his cheek.
I think that was photoshopped.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, but then I don't know. And then they're saying that Will Smith would have never done this if it was someone else hosting the...
That I will agree with. I don't know. If it was like...
The Rock.
The Rock, or even if it was Ricky Gervais or someone, I don't think...
Can you
someone
imagine
else
him
can belittle.
slapping Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
Or like Amy Schumer, for example, if she was saying that
I would
joke.
be for that.
I would slap her even if she didn't make a joke. Like, just like get on stage.
Keep my
hate her.
wife's name. I didn't talk about your wife. Yeah, but just keep her out of your...
Yeah, look, I think, maybe Chris Rock was also a little bit in the wrong for talking about something that I don't know, but to me, he's
They
a
said that
comedian.
he didn't even write that joke. So they said some joke writer had written it.
Wow.
But every time, I think all of these jokes have to be approved or something by the Academy, or I don't know, because I saw an article about Amy Schumer wanting to say something. I forgot what that joke was. It was quite dark, and they said, no, you can't say it.
Yeah.
So it means that someone has to approve
How?
whatever
But when
they're
Ricky
saying.
Gervais did it, he stopped at nothing. He went literally all
Yeah, so
in.
people, maybe someone approving it is like for...
No, maybe he went against that approval
Maybe.
because no one would have let him say those things when he hosted.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, to me, it's just like insane.
No, for
Insane.
me, I think it's the smallest joke you could make about someone who's bald. And what Will did is like completely out of the blue, and he shouldn't have done anything like that. He should have just sat there or spoken like to him like on a sidebar or something like, "Hey, I didn't like you."
And if
making
Will
a joke.
did that, he would have came out on top. Like, it would have been like, oh, he defended his wife and he handled it in a mature way. But then by this, Chris Rock comes on top. I don't know if you heard his ticket sales are through the roof,
Right
like
after.
in an insane way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember watching it, and to be honest, when I first saw it at work, I was pissed off. Like, I got angry at it. Because it brought back some flashbacks of the
I'm an albatross.
Because it was a sucker punch too. That's the thing. Like he made it seem like he was gonna dap him up or do not dap him up, but like maybe like pretend or something, and then he just, like, I don't know.
Props to Chris Rock though for still continuing the whole
and not pressing any charges.
Yeah, and just standing there and actually making the whole situation like it didn't happen. Like he was just like, oh, and he was also taken aback.
Yeah.
But he still continued on.
Yeah.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't swing back. He didn't like start another fight. So good on Chris Rock. And this is why his ticket sales are up. It's because people are like, poor Chris Rock.
And everyone wants to hear his side of the story,
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just a crazy situation.
It's such a hot topic. It's like it's all over the internet now.
It just goes to show, like, look at Will. So many things that he's done right. And he did this one wrong thing in public.
Yeah.
And everyone cancels him.
Yeah.
So many things are taken away from him. Just goes to show how easy it is to get you off of your pedestal wherever,
I mean, like, the Oscars banned him, but then he still has that golden statue at home now.
Yeah,
Like,
true. He still has that. He was still
at home,
able to say his speech.
He's still able to
still
say
went
his-
to the after party.
And that's crazy to me that he was able to assault someone and then still have his speech.
Exactly.
That is wild.
Yeah. For them to allow it. And then for them to now go back and say, oh, actually, we're taking, you can't be in the next 10 years of Oscars.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, you should have done that then and there.
No, apparently they did, but they told him he has to leave, but then apparently he refused.
I heard about that. Yeah, he was like, nah, I'm Will Smith. And they were like, oh, okay. Like,
Gosh.
They don't want to make a scene like in the middle of everything that's going on, right?
After
Like finish the
his
show
scene.
and then we'll take whatever actions necessary, but
Yeah.
before that.
It's just, violence is just a no-no to me in any situation. This is why the jiu-jitsu. So you can de-escalate the situation, not start it.
yeah.
So let's say if I'm in a roast battle and some guy goes after you, what would you have done?
It's a rose battle.
Yeah?
Yeah. If it was really offensive to me, like maybe after the show, I would go myself. Be like, keep my name out of your mouth. But not right then and there.
Picture that happen.
Not
For me,
right
I
then
don't
and
know.
there.
Like all the roast battles, I like after that I still hug everyone. I tell everyone I love them. But
You roast me on some of your
I roast you as well.
jokes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that will get me to like hit someone.
People are becoming super sensitive nowadays.
Exactly.
Like there are things that just let it go. It's a joke.
Yeah, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Like it's a comedy. You're coming there for a show.
Yeah.
Like
for someone who's married to a comedian, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
That's his roots, right? He started off as a comedian, actor. And then to react that way, I don't know.
It's just not
people will probably say, "Oh yeah, no. She should be sensitive. She's suffering, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we're not saying she's not suffering, but it's a joke,
Yeah, it's a joke.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Like people will forget about it within a week, but now he prolonged it, and now it's
exactly.
People are going like 10 times harder on internet about the whole thing. So.
I just feel like the memes, it's gotten like to the point where I don't want to see anymore. It's just everywhere.
It's so overwhelming, really. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
If you see my explore page, it's half of it is that.
Yeah.
It's
dying down a little bit, but like
no, I don't think it's
dying
dying
down. A few days
down.
after it was just everyone was talking about it. Everyone.
Yeah. Every podcast has spoken about it.
Yeah. We're a little bit delayed now.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I just wanted to take your opinion because you both are people who actually participate in roast battles and you're both comedians, so just wanted to know your two
But
cents.
in Dubai it's never happened like that, right? Any physical altercation when it came up, but I know like people have gotten really like
I remember something about glass being thrown or like food being thrown at comics before. I think Mikdad or T-Bone or something. I do remember some people in the crowd throwing stuff.
That's great.
There was this one time, I don't know if Sahar ever told you about this, but there was a show we did in Tribeca back in the day.
Yeah.
Arno's spot. And there were these group of guys who I think were all there for a bachelor party, and they were all like white folk. And I was on. They were heckling me to some extent, but I just took the easy way out and I just ignored them. And then Sahar went on. And they were really on her, like in terms of heckling, and I think she left the stage and she was really down and out about it. And then, who was headlining? What's his name? Ty.
Yeah.
Ty was like really upset at these guys. There were like a group of people, and when Ty was called to the stage, he literally walked through them, and they had like these low tables, and he stepped on the tables.
Wow.
So like literally he kicked like a few cups down. I don't know if a bottle had fallen, but he literally walked through this long table and got on stage and he started roasting them like, and one of the guys was like really, really pissed.
Yeah.
And they were going to fight. And then Ty managed to control them. That was the first time I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Because I thought like people were going to throw fists. But then Ty said, like, you cannot do all those stuff here. Like he was really an adult about it, except for the stepping on the table part. And then he said, I will reimburse whatever I've broken. I will pay for those guys, but you cannot like do this stuff in a comedy room. And yes, I think security was also ready to like
throw people away.
Yeah, throw people out, but even Ty was in the wrong for that. I don't know. But,
maybe stepping on their table is a little bit too much.
Yeah, but I can imagine also what state of mind he would have been, especially when this rowdy group of people were like really irritating all the comedians at that point.
No, drunk hecklers are definitely a thing. I've had my share of like dealing with the drunk hecklers, and it's definitely a point where like if you care about the show at all and if you want it to go well, you have to point it out. And it's also a respect thing with the audience. Like if you're disrespectful to the audience, the other people that are in that room, then you have to kind of talk about it. And also if you're just doing your jokes but then you're not acknowledging the one douche in the corner who's being super loud, then the audience is like, why do I have to listen to you? You're not even standing up for yourself.
Or not commanding the
You've
situation.
handled hecklers really well. Really, really well. I've seen.
I remember this one heckler in Miss Wang's that was like just this guy who had like all these fake chains on him. He's super drunk, and every comic that was coming on, he was yelling, "Next! Being on next act, you're not funny." Like he was super drunk and like being very loud and obnoxious. So I remember Mo Badr coming up to me before my set and he goes, "Go for him, kill him," right? Like destroy him. So I'm like, I wasn't sure at first. And then he came up and like he was like, "I got your back, don't worry. Like, okay, like go for it." So then I go up and I'm just like, I go into this guy. I'm like, why do you need to be the center of attention all the time? You know, you're making like, I was like, give it up for the worst representation of Indians in the room.
And then he did a Just Soul joke.
Yeah, he goes, "I'm Sri Lankan," and I go, "Oh, so that's what offended you? You know, like that I said Indian. That's weird." And then I said, like, his chains were from Dragon Mart. I was like just really going into him. And then I remember getting done with my set, and everyone is like dapping me up. They were like, whatever. And then I go up to Mo, and he's like, "Bro, I didn't ask you to go that hard on." He was like, he might have come back with friends. I'm gonna leave. And I was like, "Yo, I thought you had my back." What?
I was like, "Nope, I'm gonna go home now."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand hecklers though. Like, why? Why would you make? Maybe I guess they need more attention.
Yeah, he said he was a singer, and he's like, so maybe like he wanted the attention as well.
Go ahead and sing for everyone then.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Sing
like,
me a song.
We don't have auto-tune here, so.
No one came here for a singing entertainment.
Exactly.
He came here for comedy, so maybe that would be comedy. That guy singing.
That would, yeah, probably.
Sri Lankan singer. Wait, now on singer, I think we can like slowly move into this topic. But Anand has produced a lot of shows, not a lot, but I think a handful.
It's a good segue.
And I think I want you to talk about our Go and Shack incident.
Oh my god!
And if you could, like, because Anand did the best, like one of the best jokes I've heard from Anand is the set when he opened up his last show that he produced, and he spoke about producing and the Go and Shack story, and he did it in such a comedic way. I couldn't stop laughing because I was part of that joke, and whatever he said was so accurate. So I think the stage is yours if you want to like talk about this whole situation.
Sure. Well, when I was producing first, I got asked by this place called the Go and Shack, and they didn't have a karaoke. They didn't have a performing license, right? They had a karaoke license. So what the owner said to me was, he said, "Hey, look, you can't perform on stage. You have to perform off stage. And if you see anyone coming in plain clothes, when you're doing your jokes, immediately drop your jokes and just start singing," right?
And the stage is not even like a stage. It's like this platform, right?
It's like that thick of a platform. Like, it's nothing, right? It's just a raised, elevated like thing, right? Like a curb. Yeah, like a step. So he's like, "You can't stand on that, stand on the side." So he's like, if a CID comes in, just stop and start singing. So I'm like, how would that go? It'd be so weird. Like, I would be like, "So what's the deal with the RTA Metro?" It's like, Despacito. This is how we do it. It's like so strange.
Gosh.
So I remember him telling us this, and then he was like, "Okay, we're gonna try a trial run, right, of the thing in Go and Shack." Now, what happened was, we were supposed to start the comedy night at 8 p.m. And there was supposed to be this lady. Her name was the Nightingale of Goa. She was supposed to come and perform, and she's renowned as like the most amazing performer from Goa, like a singer. She was supposed to come open the show. Now, it became 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, and she still wasn't there, right? At around 10 p.m., she shows up. Now, what I didn't know about her was she's about 85 years old, okay? And she came slowly, like, walking up to the stage with her walking stick, right? And she had so much glitter on her face. It looked like the guy who was, like, her makeup artist, or the girl who was her makeup artist, just went up to her and she was like, wait, Miss Laura, wait. Like, just put, like, all of them, like, glitter on her face, and he's like, "You're ready," right?
Final touches for you.
Final touches. So she goes up, and by this point, everyone is drunk, and they're like, Lorna, and that's her name. And she's like, everyone's super hyped, and the room is filled with like these drunk Goans, and they're excited. And she goes up, and she's singing classic Goan bangers, right? Like she's going, "Maria Pitashe, oh Maria Pitashe," right? And I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, "Oh my God, kill me," right? Like, what's happening? My comedy show. And she's like, "Maria Pitashe." And then I look for supports in the room, and I remember Joshua being there, and I look to the side, and Joshua is going, "Maria Pitashe, oh Maria Pitashe."
I didn't know that you knew Goan music too.
Of course, man.
And I'm like, "Oh my God."
Josh.
So then this woman like sings for another hour, right? And they go encore, and they're super excited. And she leaves. And on that note, I go to the center of the stage, and it's now like 12 a.m. And I go, "Who's ready for some comedy?" And I see Joshua shaking in the background. Like, no, like no one's ready for comedy. And I remember
at 12, right after her show.
At 12, and I remember this sweet old lady in the front. She just goes, "Can you bring back Lorna?" And I'm just like, oh God. So I just remember like being like, I can salvage this situation. So I go and I start trying to do crowd work. So like I go up to a person, I'm like, you sir, where are you from? And he too is like, we just came here for Lorna. Please, can you bring her back? It was the worst night. I remember Joshua going up and like we all bombed. And I want to know your perspective because like I never got your perspective as well. But like that was...
So Anand messages me. He's like, Josh, I'm starting to produce.
So this is the first show you produced.
It was the first show and it was the test run of the first show I ever produced.
Okay.
Yeah, so Anand like messaged me like, yo, I have this new room. It's called the Go-In Shack, and we have like our first show coming up, and I really want you to help me out. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got you, bro. Like anything for you. And then, so on the day of, I meet Anand and he has his sister over there, and then there's this other guy who comes in. And I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? And he's like, he sits with us and starts talking. So I'm like, yo, who are you, by the way? He's like, oh, I'm the other comedian. I'm like, oh, whoa, word, that's so cool. Like, welcome. Like, how long have you been doing? It's like, oh, it's my first time. I'm like, oh, okay. And like the room is starting to fill, and I'm like, so how did you hear about this? Like, no, I saw this post on LinkedIn. I'm like, LinkedIn, bro?
LinkedIn? What? And I had never posted on LinkedIn. I didn't know who this guy was. Essentially, he could have been some guy who just walked in and was like, wanted to do comedy.
And he was like, he's such a young guy. He didn't know anything. I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So this is your first show, and I'm like maybe funny, like. And then he goes on stage and he completely bombs. And he's like, hey, Josh, can you record my set? So I'm recording there, like in a room, because I think he was the first ever. He's the first comedian to go up. So Anand's doing his crowd work. No one gives a damn about Anand there. Like literally, he's like, Anand's like trying to hype up the crowd. That moment was exactly true, word for word. He is like, so where are you from, sir? And this guy's like, bring back Lorna. And then I'm like, I'm just like in the corner. I'm like, this is not going to turn out well. And
I also remember that the room was split into two sides, so I still have this video where I'm like, if the room to the right is ready for some comedy, make some noise. Nothing. Then I walk, I'm like, is the room to the left ready for some noise? And they're all just getting drunk and they don't care. There's no stage, so I'm just standing in between of them.
And there are pillars in between, so literally like you cannot see Anand unless you like you pivot. As in this guy goes and it's like, I'm recording him and I can see his face and he's like always looking at me like what do I do now? I'm just like looking at him recording, and I'm just like, dude, just. Then I'm like, okay, I'm half going. Maybe I can change the room a little bit. Zero, like people are talking mid set, Anand is just staring at me, and I'm just like, and then the owner of the room is just like looking at me. He's like, what's going on? Like, because this room was like really dedicated for this Lorna. Like people came just to see her. Like, what are you gonna do? Like if Britney Spears is on. And when she's like doing her costume change and something, and I go on stage and like, hey guys, Filipino Indian here.
I remember people still like dancing like to nothing. There was no music going on, but in their head they were still hearing Lorna, so they were like slow dancing while I was doing my set. So
yeah, and then
so you guys are putting out comedy, and they were just
no one cares. And then Anand is back again. I remember, and Lorna comes like to the room. And like a lot of people start centering. So I'm like, oh wow, Anand's actually getting some people to like stand and watch him. But no, Lorna's coming in. All these aunties are like trying to go in and take a selfie with her. Yes! And like literally she's like, she can't like that small space to go to the stage. Like everyone is just like taking selfies and like trying like talk to her. Auntie, you made my life the best. Your music has really inspired me, all this stuff. And she just talks like she sings the most random songs, and like she has like I don't know, like she needed support because like every 10 minutes she had to like take a break and stuff. Like she was really that old.
Get her dialysis bag or something. I don't know, but she was old.
And then the night ended and people are on the dance floor, and Anand like met like two girls. I remember, like I think they were near school. Like
who were fans of the
they were
Lorna?
looking at me with sympathy, like through my entire set. Like I was asking them crowd work, and they were just nodding. They weren't even answering.
Yeah, these two really nice girls. They were like sticking to us the whole time, and then Anand and me were just like, this guy had gone. The other guy is like, I think after his set, he just literally disappeared.
Oh
the
gosh,
LinkedIn bandit.
Yeah, you never saw him again.
I saw him once after that, and never again.
So he never did a show.
I don't know, but it was so funny. It was the weirdest night, and I'm like, Anand, what have you gotten me into? Dude?
He was an enigma.
Oh gosh. Well, the main question is her voice really something that people would, listen to?
maybe
Is it
back in the
nice?
day, but she did get the crowd like moving. She got everyone on their feet.
She got them pumped.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
got them
And
really
are these like old people as well?
like a mixture, but mostly aunties and uncles.
Hmm.
Yeah, coming in their Hawaiian shirts and dancing and like drinking their
Coming
beer.
in their going outfits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. It was
with their fedoras and stuff.
it's a traumatizing experience.
It was so funny, and even after some time we just left. We left through the back door. We just like
You were
screw it.
kicked out of the village.
Yes, that was our
Yeah.
village time. Yes,
Exactly.
and yeah, but it was super funny. Like every time I think about Anand, I always go back to that story. It was so funny. It was so funny.
That was like such a weird situation, and that's when I started getting into weird situations with Joshua. There was this Trifid one where we were at Trifid doing the show.
Oh gosh, you told me about that.
The beginning, like when I first met Sean, and I did like a demo for like all the Trifid staff, that went really well.
Yeah.
But then after that show went really. I don't know. It was okay.
fine.
It was
It was
okay.
fine,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was just like. It was a party, and we just like stopped the party. Oh, guys, we have some comedians. And
Why do you always find yourselves in the middle of like hyped
no,
situations?
because Sean is such a big name in comedy in Dubai, so we're like, let's
Yeah.
try to get on his good books and stuff.
Yeah, he's a comedian as well.
Yeah.
He's not a comedian. He's a he's a
skit comedian.
Right.
Yeah, like
super
the guy that
funny.
you
super
told me.
funny, like one of the
Yeah.
funniest.
The one who does voices. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he did
Funny.
stand up once, and yeah.
Didn't work.
No, he had friends
Yeah.
over. It was fine, but like he's more so like skits and
Yeah, skits,
Videos.
reels, all that kind of stuff. But super funny.
and also
super
in
funny.
person, so funny.
Oh man,
my
you cannot
God.
have a straight face when you talk to him.
But I have something to say about that. Like people can be funny. People can be funny on a skit, basis, but then you put them on a stage for stand-up comedy and it doesn't work.
No,
Yeah.
he's all around though.
It's just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's just very different. Like people think as long as you're funny, as long as you do funny things that you can do that on stage, but I think it's like totally different.
Yeah.
It takes a whole different ball game to get on stage and be
Yeah.
a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Based on what I've seen, I'm not a stand-up comedian myself, but yeah, I've seen a couple of TikTokers who are funny-ish on TikTok get on stage and completely bomb, and I'm like,
yeah.
Same like that guy. When you didn't do that show which was in the Trade Center.
I don't think so.
And there was that one TikToker who came and opened. Like
Yeah.
he like literally like apparently has like
didn't work.
millions of followers.
yeah.
But when he went on stage, he was like, okay, what
I saw
now?
him and I'm like, dude, yeah.
Yeah, like he
not
ate
good at
the
all.
he ate the crap that day.
Because it just didn't work. It's probably great for TikTok or Reels or whatever it is, but on stage, it's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. You guys should be proud of yourselves. That's a different level of confidence.
Yeah, we're struggling though.
Yeah,
but,
we are struggling. I mean,
Yeah,
But
but,
it's
at
fun,
least
it's
you
fun.
subject yourselves, right? And you
Yeah.
get up on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you get back to the village. Maybe in
The next village?
We
But
find
yeah.
our way back to the village
Yeah.
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's the comedy in general is like that. You never know what to expect. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a packed room. Sometimes it's like two people I've performed for.
Yeah.
One was a mother and her kid.
I remember last week I brought my parents to a show for the first time because they flew into Dubai.
Nice.
And it was an alternate form of comedy. In retrospect, it wasn't the best night to bring them out to, but it was a PowerPoint presentation night where basically the audience members gets to write on a piece of paper, I am a blank, like any profession, and today I'm going to talk about blank. And so it could be anything, and then you have a presentation with random images in the back, and you have to make it into your presentation, right? So I take the paper and it says, I am an engineer, and today I'm going to talk about how to approach women. And so like I tried, but it was so hard. And then like I was like, yeah, but I'm an engineer, but like people say you can't pick up women if you like the engineers are bad at picking up women. That's not true. I'm a super confident engineer. And my first tip for picking up women is, and I point at the presentation and it comes, a baby's picture comes up. And the baby has like soap water, and the soap water is making its hair stand like this. And it's a meme that says, lol, I'm Batman.
Okay.
So I go, that's the first tip for picking up women. You have to always be the hero in every scenario.
I want to do that night actually. I want to see
Improv,
how.
that's
It was quite
improv,
funny.
right? Yeah.
So the other comics, Adi, who's a newer comic now, he got I'm a judge and I'm going to talk about finding unicorns. There was one chick who got I'm Kim Kardashian and I'm here to talk about nuclear fallout. And she literally lost the plot. Like, she started saying the most random things. And it's fine if it's not funny, but make it be logical at least. It didn't make any sense.
Who's the girl?
I have no idea.
That's difficult because like you're put in a situation where you don't know. It's not like you've practiced it, you've written it. It's literally like go.
Yeah, it's go.
Whatever you get.
But I think those are like the real tests and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember my parents liked Amit the best, which was just a pain to my heart. But also it was true though. He did the best. His was I'm a chef and I'm going to teach you how to make saliva tasty. And Amit is always like he makes things dirty. So
yeah.
Like,
how was that in front of your parents? Like, were you speaking about nasty stuff in front of your parents?
oh yeah. I talk about nasty stuff all the time in front of
Nice.
Oh, so you have that relationship with your parents?
Yeah. It's pretty
nice.
fun.
That's good.
Did
I've
they
never
find you
taken
funny?
Yeah, I would say so.
Nice.
I hope so. My mom laughs.
That's cute.
My mom laughs at my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
You've never taken your parents.
No, I've never taken my parents.
It is. I would say it was one of the most nervous times I've ever been, because it's like, you know, you wanna show your parents that you're good, but then I also felt like doing this one was like a low stakes situation because I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
So it was also putting me at a disadvantage from the beginning. So if I bombed, then it's not my fault. It's the presentation.
Yeah.
But now I will take them to like an actual show, but I'm just working out some material first. I want to get a really tight 10 minutes and then take them out to do that.
Nice. Are they gonna stay here for a while?
They're going to stay until the end of Ramadan.
Okay.
So that's been interesting because my mom, we have a 2-bedroom, and so my mom shares it with my sister. I share the bed with my dad. So
why can't your parents stay in one room and you and your sister in the other?
that is a good point. I don't know.
Let me go home and check like if we can do that.
Yeah,
I'll check on that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun having them around because they cook. My dad is an amazing cook. Makes
Nice.
fantastic chicken curry and rice. It's always so nice having him around because when I go to work, he packs me like these sandwiches with like the little yogurt and like a snack, and
That's nice.
it's really nice. And one time I didn't eat the sandwich and I came back home and he looked devastated. He was like, "That's not cool, man. I cooked for you this lunch, so much effort, and you did this? That's bad." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I will never not have the egg sandwich that you made for me, Father. I have disappointed you.
You have disrespected the family
I
name.
have to leave the clan. I'm
leaving the village.
I'm leaving the village, joining the pack of dogs with Joshua as my leader."
I'm not gonna take it anywhere. I'm like literally gonna bring that pack to the floor. Like,
As a golden retriever.
Yeah,
no, but this was fun, man. This was really fun.
yeah, 100%, man.
What's next? What's next for you? Like, what do we have in store?
Well, I think that like now my life has changed quite a bit because I'm settling down a bit more. I got a job, finally got a girlfriend. So you know those things.
She's lovely, by the way.
Yeah, she's nice. She's very nice. And yeah, it's going good. I think what's next is just to keep on with the comedy. And I always, with Dubai, I always had this transitionary phase where I was like, I went to America and I studied there for a bit. And then now I came back here.
Oh yeah, we never spoke about that. But like, how was the situation over there? How was it growing up here and then moving all the way to US to do your university and coming back?
It was interesting, honestly. It was a culture shock for sure. And America was like, I was always expecting New York like the Jay-Z song. I was like, New York, concrete jungle. But then I went and New York was everything I expected it to be. But I moved to Buffalo, which is where I did my college. Totally different.
Yeah.
Buffalo was not that great. It's fine. Buffalo's okay if anyone's listening, but it's not what I expected. I thought it would be like Dubai.
Okay.
But I remember being disappointed at first. Buffalo was very dangerous as well. I had my house broken into a couple of times.
Crazy.
It was crazy. But I learned a lot of crazy experiences. I could go on and on about that. We can have another podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Definitely tell you
Next
about
time
that.
you come back.
Yeah. We can talk romance. We can talk some topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
think when we get our new setup as well, I think the perfect guest would be you and Abs together and then us.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Gosh.
I don't think one train of thought would happen with Abs and me. in a
Shoot
room.
all of them.
Like, yeah.
There'll be like a 3-hour podcast.
No, I'll
like a
leave you
JRE.
3 together, like just the
Oh,
men
man.
talking about things.
then chaos will be reigning.
Then it's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, I think that would have to be a separate podcast altogether.
We're gonna cut it up so much. I'm sure. I'm like the editing on that will be such a terrible task to do.
No, but honestly, I would love to do like a pure comedy podcast as well. Like
Man, that is a dream. I know.
You guys should do it.
That would
The
be
king will
amazing.
stay in the wing.
Yeah.
3 of you.
Maybe, I don't know. When we get our new place, I think we can try to do something over there.
That would be
and
amazing.
try
I
to
could
bring
help
that
with
up.
the editing as well. Like, I would love to do that, honestly. I
Yeah.
think that would do, like putting up the clips on TikTok and like, you know, Instagram. I can do all of those things, editing, and like I feel like it would do really well.
Dude, there you
I would
go.
be
We'll speak
so
to you
down.
separately about that.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Shoot
Let's
your
get to
shot.
this separately. Yeah.
We need the Gilbert.
No, I also feel like our energy is really like good, like in sync. So like we really bring out the best in each other in terms of like jokes and stuff.
Exactly.
So
And we already have that bond.
exactly.
So like it really works. Like we're not complete strangers or anything like that. So
yeah.
Just as long as it doesn't do better than this.
No, I think there'll always be like that tiger belly, and they'll be bad friends, right?
Yeah.
yeah, or like
That's
Crash
true.
Tuesdays or something.
True. Different.
That'll be like the
Different audience,
different set of audience. Correct.
different
Yeah.
likes.
yeah, that's true. So what's next? Like when's your next show? Anything you want to plug? Anything like that?
Next show, I have some coming up this month. Some in Miss Wang, some in Oak Bar. There's the Dubai Comedy Festival that me and Joshua are going to be part of May
Yes.
19th, I believe.
I don't know. I'm very
You
bad
guys
at
are
it.
ready?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
I don't know if you're, but it's been interesting. I've been telling a lot of people.
That's gonna be fun.
I just hope it's not outdoor.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
It's
that was
May.
The
I don't
last
think
time
so.
I did it was outdoor. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And I was like sweating buckets on stage.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like literally, like my hair was getting so thin, like you could see my scalp all the way from there, because like my head was like getting so wet. But yeah,
But you can follow me on my Instagram at Anand Raman _ because
Yes.
Anand Raman was taken because there's a billion Indians. And you can also follow my YouTube channel for animations, because I do animations as well. You can follow that at ANSquared Animations. So it's ANSQUARED Animations.
Nice.
and your TikTok, Comedy Bro.
Yeah, I don't do that as much anymore, but sure.
Yeah, why not? Plug it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's called Comedy Bro. I haven't posted in months. I used to do a lot of skits and stuff. TikTok was my haven of like these jokes that like just plague my thoughts all the time, and I just wanted to get them out there. So yeah.
But my favorite, like I always think about this, one of your TikToks till this day, like, and Janine and I, we always crack up when I bring it up or something, but those motivational gym quotes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah.
When like you look at this, I'm like, yeah. Then there's like there's something about I want to slap you in the face with a
some
chair.
people deserve to get hit across the face with a chair, and I'm like, why would you put that as a gym motivation?
Because you're acting on that. It was so spot on, because like some gym quotes, like okay.
Anand's good with like acting and
That
skits.
was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny. Every time
So
I see that, I'm like,
believable.
wow, this is super hilarious. I don't know, like that should have made you viral. Like
It went viral.
It went.
Yeah.
It did the rounds.
Yeah.
It did the rounds.
Yeah.
This is why you guys need to follow him on TikTok.
Yeah,
we'll
just
put all of
check
the
his
handles
content and on our
description.
in the description. Yeah.
Do you guys usually look at the camera, or you look at the
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
When we speak to them,
Very
we look
cool.
at the camera.
Very cool.
Hi guys.
Right, so-
So I think that's it then.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Well,
having me, and it's been a
Thanks
pleasure.
for being here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. This was such an honor to have you, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
every guest we had was always like a half something or half something.
Oh yeah, I'm a
So-
full pedigree, full breed.
Yeah, so you're like the full Indian, and like you're the first person we had, which we actually knew from before our podcasting days.
yeah.
Like we've known you for a very long time, so it was so refreshing to have you on as a guest and speak comedy, speak all like
And laugh all
random stuff.
throughout.
Yeah, and it was an honor for me as well, because I remember the very first podcast episode you guys put out, and I was in love. It was so good. And like it was just something I could put in the background and listen to all the time, like while I was doing work or something. And
Yeah.
like even now with the video podcast, you guys have come a long way. 1K subs. It's really, really cool to see the journey you guys have taken. So
Thank
I'm
you.
honored
Means a
too.
lot to us. Means a lot to us. Like, no, really, like we put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah.
We're UAE's #1 podcast, I want to say, but not really.
You should.
One day.
But it's so refreshing to have you here. Really, it is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's do some jujitsu too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm an albatross and like get naked and fight.
I'll leave you guys to that.
All right. Thank you guys.
But should we wrap up or?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Are you gonna sing with us?
Oh, is that what
when
you
we say
guys do?
have a nice day.
Yeah,
Sure,
so we go
sure, I
like,
could
Okay.
do that.
so like we go on that note, and then we go, have a nice day. Like, okay.
Okay.
Because I remember you guys used to go, have a nice day.
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
we went a little bit higher.
you went a
Higher.
little
Yeah,
higher?
because
Okay.
1K subs.
Oh, right. You're gonna go higher.
Okay, so
Okay, and on that note,
have a nice day.
wow.
I'm removing this now. That was the worst one we've ever done.
We love you guys.
Oh, wow.
Like as a friend, bye.
That's awesome, man. Damn, I love that.
That was actually good.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was so much fun.